This ESPN production is available on ESPN HD, presented by Olivia. An unusually balmy night here in Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City, with mile high expectations this year for the Denver Nuggets tonight, taking on Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, along with John Barry. Lisa Salters joining us in just a few moments. This is the second meeting of the season between these two teams. They met just last Thursday, a Denver shellacking by the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, when you look at Denver right now, three big components. They have their own big three in Camby, Iverson, and Melo. But how do they become, John, one of the elite teams in the league?
Well, you know what? I'm still waiting for them to do that. I look at this team and I look at this roster. I don't think there's a more talented roster in the NBA. Like you said, two prolific scorers, a defensive player in the year in Marcus Camby. What's the deal? And I came up with two things. Commitment to defense on a nightly basis, and trust each other and trust the system. And the Denver Nuggets are going to be a team to be reckoned with in the Western Conference.
They talk openly about winning a potential maybe 60 games during the regular season. Meanwhile, on the other side of the court tonight, Los Angeles Lakers snapping their losing streak with a win last night in Minnesota. The barometer of the team is and always will be Kobe Bryant as long as he's here, but the bench now seems to have galvanized, and this team coming together. What do you make of the Lakers?
Well, everybody thought that after Kobe Bryant made those comments and said, I want out of LA this summer, that this team would fall apart. And like you said, they have been galvanized. The supporting cast of Kobe Bryant has been terrific. Night in, night out, somebody has stepped up. I mean, you look at the numbers, you have four guys in double figures, Vladimir Radmanovic right underneath double figures. This is a young team, the second youngest team in the league. Now, if they keep improving as the year goes on, and they keep games close with a guy like Kobe Bryant on your team, expect them to be in the playoff race for the 7th or 8th seed in the Western Conference.
Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak here at the Pepsi Center against the Nuggets. Allen Iverson has it ready and loaded to go. Lamar Odom looking to shoot a little bit more. And the young Bynum back in the lineup tonight. The tip-off right after this.
Presentation of NBA Wednesday. Brought to you by Dodge. Live life to the fullest. Dodge. Grab life.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Yes, something about this building really gets Kobe Bryant revved up as we take a look at the starting lineups for the respective teams. First of all, for the Los Angeles Lakers, there are 8 different starting lineup on the season so far. This lineup right here, 1-0 on the season. Walton, Mim, Odom up front. In the backcourt, Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant. Meanwhile, for Denver, Anthony Carter, we talked about him just a few moments ago in the studio. You heard Bill Walton saying what he adds, and he is making his 4th start of the season in the backcourt for Denver. And for more on the injury situation, here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Mark Andrew Bynum won't start tonight, but he will be available for the Lakers after coming down with food poisoning yesterday in Minnesota. He spent much of the day in a Minnesota hospital getting IV fluids. He did not play at all for the Lakers last night. He told me he is feeling better tonight, but he did get more IV fluids today. Don't even bother asking about Kobe Bryant. Of course he's fine. He too was sick yesterday with the stomach flu, but played anyway and says he's 100%. We asked Kobe if he said anything at all to Andrew Bynum about playing while sick, and he said, I didn't say anything at all. I didn't have to. I try to lead by example. He said a lot of people think that playing sick is a matter of will, but it isn't. He said it's a skill. You really have to learn how to play when you're sick. You got to learn what your body can and cannot do when you're not feeling well, and Andrew Bynum will learn that. Mark?
Certainly will. Kobe, one of his mentors, and Kobe last night against Minnesota, John, had 20 points, 13 in the first quarter alone. He got off to a very good start.
Well, he had a light night, 29 minutes. They blew out the Timberwolves, who obviously are very depleted after they lost, who was that guy, Kevin something?
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin Garnett. Yeah, a little depleted up there in Minnesota.
And we are underway here at the Pepsi Center. Carter controlling, bringing it up court for the... And here come the Los Angeles Lakers. Going to be interesting to see, John, just how much energy they have after getting in at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Kobe Bryant, never seemingly lacking for energy, hits the turnaround.
No, I've never seen him tired. And he loves playing against the Denver Nuggets, and like we talked about, loves this building. We know about him being up here in Colorado for the trial years ago, and he's always played well as Iverson knocks it down.
Allen Iverson came into this game averaging 23.5 points per. Microfracture knee surgeries to both his left and his right knee. Here's Iverson working baseline, and Allen Iverson with another bucket. He's got a nice screen from Derek Fisher to hit the jump shot.
Well, these are two teams that are not lacking offensively. We're going to see some points tonight. We've already talked about the defense, and it seems like no one's missed a shot yet.
Kobe Bryant ready for Allen Iverson defense, showering him with a chorus of boos. Fisher off the mark. Martin controls.
Well, Anthony Carter guarding Kobe Bryant is a total mismatch. Kobe Bryant, recognizing that, is going to back Anthony Carter down all night long. That time kicked out to a wide open three. Fisher was unable to knock it down.
And Iverson draws the contact from Derek Fisher and will go to the foul line for a pair. That's his first personal foul, second team foul.
And Allen Iverson just relentless going to the basket. Uses his body so well, able to get contact, able to finish most of the time at just 6 feet tall.
And you talk about his scoring prowess.
Oh, man.
Third highest career average scoring.
Those two guys are pretty good ahead of him, huh? No titles for AI, though. That one trip.
Nuggets still looking for an opportunity to run. Good transition defense that time by the Lakers. These two teams will run up and down and chuck it a little bit. The fourth and fifth highest scoring teams respectively in the league. In Denver and Los Angeles, Bryant knocks it down.
So you might as well
that's
try to
another way of
outscore
looking
them.
at it.
I think that's a nice way of putting it without saying my team can't defend.
Well, here they are on defense, and they have made a tangible improvement. Bryant knocks it down, and an opportunity for a three-point play coming up.
Just great recognition here. Pulls up, knows he gets fouled, has the strength to be able to still go up and finish. Kobe Bryant, arguably the best player we have in this league.
Bryant in back-to-back team building includes some lunch after shoot-arounds. Here's what Bryant had to say about it.
We have lunch together after shoot-around. You know, you expect 3 or 4 guys to be there. And, we had 10, 12 guys there. I mean, the entire team was there, and we're all just kind of just going with game plan and just shooting around one another.
There's always been a perception of
Kobe's played terrific.
Carter goes cross court to Iverson on the baseline, and rebounded by Carter. The one thing the Nuggets haven't been able to do so far is get some easy buckets in transition.
No, LA doing a nice job in transition. You always have to be ready with the Nuggets. Iverson hits Melo with the beautiful lob. Special player. I think one of the top 3 one-on-one players we have in this game.
And he's one of the guys, if you speak to this Nuggets team, to a man, they say they're capable of winning 60 games in the regular season. Iverson, one of the guys that feels that way.
It's not all of them. The big 3 have to step up and get this team playing with some consistent effort night in and night out.
Iverson pulling the trigger again. And the same result. Denver now countering with an 8-0 run. Amongst league leaders in points off of turnovers. Showing you why right there. Walton inside to Mim. And it's one and done at the offensive end for the Los Angeles Lakers. And unremitting Allen Iverson. The foul going to go against Mim. Well, Iverson and Melo on the same frequency, John.
Not only can he score, but he can pass the ball too. And AI going to the rim. Finishes with the best at 6 feet, and then you can't leave him open from 8 feet. AI got his team.
General Manager Billy King and hired Ed Stefanski. Of course, Allen Iverson had a long-term relationship with Billy King and the Philadelphia 76ers, and I asked him earlier today what his reaction was when he heard the news that Billy King had gotten fired, and he said, a lot of people would just assume that I would be happy the way I left Philadelphia, and he said that's not the case. I hate to.
His family being comfortable now in the area. He's purchased a home here in Denver and
multiple positions. And for whatever the reason, he and Kobe Bryant have just not had great success. And it's nothing to do with either of the two guys.
In his crib. Just a talented player. Part of Team USA and USA basketball.
But I think the game comes easy to him.
Here's Bryant firing away. And
felt like he got hit. Took a little flop, and Walton's able to lay it in.
Iverson on the pull-up over Farmar. Martin with the quick outlet to Iverson. They have numbers of 3-on-2. Iverson always with numbers and athletes in the entire league. This past summer, dropping some 18 pounds, getting into the gym, into the lab, and boy, Allen. Vujacic had to beat the shot clock. Here's Iverson through traffic, like he usually does. Just doing. Radmanovich was what Phil Jackson called a space cadet, quote unquote. This after his skiing injury, and boy. Now who's covering him, John? Allen? Who wants to claim that they're covering him?
But look at this. This ball hits the top right.
First half, Los Angeles shooting 56% from the field. Iverson just going to work on Farmar.
What's going on here? It's a your turn, my turn as Allen Iverson hits his 9th in a row. Taking the little Jordan Farmar to school.
Nuggets. You think Iverson could have played for him back in the day? No doubt.
Man. He'd have had 60, 70 every 3 nights. AI, 27 points.
Boy, tough blow for Sacramento. He was one of the top vote getters and most improved player of the year a season ago. And boy, what about the performance of Allen Iverson tonight? 27 points here in the first half with the meter still running. His last 9 shots.
11 for 13.
You know, he was telling me when he first moved to Denver, when he was traded here almost a year ago, that, believe it or not, the altitude was a bit of a factor for him. It took him a couple of weeks to get acclimated. A supremely conditioned athlete runs the mile in about 4.5 minutes.
Well, you know what the toughest thing, Mark, of playing here is, yeah, it's tough to get in shape, but once you get in shape, it's when you leave for an extended road trip.
Now, that's great news, Lisa. And you know, there are some skeptics that always will be that question the timing of his being able to get let loose from his contract. And the Lakers looking for numbers coming back. Bryant thought about the 3 and Odom with an easy play.
Got to get back.
Kobe Bryant denying the ball to Iverson, but boy, if you blink, Iverson can sting you, which he does. Allen Iverson with a superb first half, 29 points.
Man, that was a good couple weeks for me.
Fisher into the paint. Maybe the Lakers had one of those meditation sessions like they did last week before the game against the Nuggets. Carter got it back. Iverson fouled by Walton.
That's that we have been accustomed to seeing him, but when you have a Carmelo Anthony by your side, you don't need to. And you have got.
Folks, visit NBA.com where you can vote to send your favorite player to New Orleans for NBA All-Star Saturday, and the All-Star Game 2008. Down by just 7 points, despite some porous defense at times.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we talked about it earlier in the week. Kobe Bryant, they call him for the foul. Looked like a pretty good block. These teams played last week. Denver up 17 in the first quarter, wound up losing that game by 28. 46-point fourth quarter for the LA Lakers. Oh, I don't know. Let's see if he gets the arm here. That looked like all on the hand. Absolutely. Great call by David Jones.
Allen Iverson goes to the foul line, where he shoots 79% so far this season. Vujacic comes in for Kobe Bryant after his 3rd personal foul. Allen Iverson, 32 years old. Well, that wouldn't have counted if it did go in. It has to touch a player. Allen Iverson with his best first half of the season so far, 33 points. And here's Lisa Salters with Kobe.
Thanks, Mark. Kobe, you went down hard. What happened on that play where you hurt your shoulder?
I slid right on top of my shoulder, and it was just a tough way to fall.
How does it feel now? I saw you icing it on the bench, but how does it feel right now?
Feels okay. It's just achy, but it's all right.
And on the defensive side, Allen Iverson going off for 33 points. You guys are happy with what you're doing on the boards, and you have the lead, but what do you have to do to slow that guy down?
Well, you know, he's kind of playing the way that he used to play, and which kind of caught us off guard. So, you know, second half, just got to pay a little bit more attention to him.
All right, thanks a lot, Kobe.
Wouldn't be surprised if Kobe asked for the challenge of guarding him a little bit more.
Exactly what I was thinking, Mark. Exactly. Kobe Bryant will take that challenge.
Well, the Denver Nuggets trailing by 4 points at the break. They've won 3 straight over the Lakers here at the Pepsi Center. It's a 4-point game at the break. And Allen Iverson has his fingerprints all over this first half. Matt Weiner and company will be in the studio with the Toyota Halftime Show right after these messages. Odom knocks it back to a 4-point game. Odom with 14. Maybe as quiet a 14 as you've seen from him so far this year. And Iverson, as is his wont, makes his way back to the free throw line once again, always amongst league leaders in free throw attempts.
Well, he always puts pressure on the defense. And look at this little sliver that he gets through there as Vujicic bumps him. Clear foul, but Allen Iverson used to be, no question, the fastest guy in the league with the basketball. Now, I mean, there's a few guys you can talk about. TJ Ford, lightning quick. You know, I was up in that category back in the days.
Iverson coming off a 20-point game against the lead back up to 5 for Los Angeles. Iverson's on the drive-by. Oh, man.
You can't blink. Oh, Iverson just having his way with whoever's on him. This time Vujicic gets the little step back on him, fading to his left.
These guys can score. I'm here to pass and play defense.
Well, he certainly knows his role, Lisa. Clamar blew the layup. And here's Iverson. Well, at least he's getting a touch this time. And then some. And one. Answers abound tonight for the Nuggets and Iverson.
Give it to him every time, for sure. Always going left. He's so dangerous. Gets the contact. Jump stop, elevate, and finish. Allen Iverson with 40.
His 79th career 40-point game.
All right, we put the over-under at a number that I don't even want to say, Mark. You took the over, I took the under. I'm in big trouble.
I think you are.
I thought he was going to slow down this half, but
Iverson will gladly take that challenge on. Going to work on Farmar. Justin Jordan Farmar.
43.
Oh! Finally missing from that 3-point spot. Iverson getting his groove on. Draws the contact, and he's got dap for everybody, even the fans courtside.
Oh, my goodness. Does he smell blood in the water? Going left again with a little fadeaway. This time on Farmar. This time he gets him to go for the pump fake. Draws the foul, and the crowd rises. Giving it up for AI, who's torching the Lakers tonight, Mark.
Something brewing special tonight for Allen Iverson, as the Nuggets now with a 3-point lead. It was about a year ago this time that he was traded from Philadelphia to Denver. The expectations rose.
Is what I'm going to call it, because there's holes all over the place, Mark.
Certainly looked that way this time. Iverson working against Fisher. Oh, my anybody stop Allen Iverson. That jump shot still wet. Iverson, his 47, the most ever by a Nugget against the Lakers. The high product by Laker team, Wilt Chamberlain. So stick around. That's when he was with Philadelphia. Dipper. And Allen Iverson is dipping into his offensive arsenal tonight. A tireless, relentless approach.
And this has all been primarily jump shots. You know, he's gotten to the paint 4 or 5 times. He hasn't taken a 3-point shot.
Former high school teammate of Dwight Howard at Southwood. Team's 28 points here in the 3rd quarter. You know, it's interesting in speaking with George Karl a little bit earlier with reference to Allen Iverson and his offensive prowess, specifically his jump shooting. He was lamenting the fact that Allen isn't quite there in letting the coaching staff work with him.
Go-to man, Kobe Bryant.
Here's Bryant on the wing, working against Naharad. Made it all the way to the cup.
Let's knock it down. and went a dry spell in a 90-90 game.
Bryant working against J.R. Smith. Came out of the game, went into the locker room for a couple of minutes, came back out. And more than anything else, John, he's sat because of the foul trouble and not the shoulder.
Yeah, he hasn't shown any ill effects from the shoulder, but picked up his 4th foul, as I said, with 11:20 to go in the 3rd, and hasn't been out there, so he's probably a little bit stiff. But he should be fresh as we get down to the nitty-gritty here in a tight ball game.
Talked about Kobe's supreme conditioning during the offseason and playing with Team USA. Both he and Carmelo Anthony teammates on that team. Kobe losing 18 pounds, got down to about 8% body fat. Usually comfortable, but missing that time.
Well, I'll tell you, 0 for 8 is not going to deter J.R. Smith. And you can't blame him. That's a wide open shot. That's a good shot.
And Bryant fouled on his foray to the bucket. Odom with a great look from downtown. And Bryant with another opportunity. Oh, he put him on spin, and he'll go to the
Kobe Bryant feeling.
Bryant at the free throw line. An 86% free throw shooter on the season. Led the league in scoring for the last couple of seasons.
Well, I'm sure another trip to the finals for the Cleveland Cavaliers would be what LeBron James would love to have again, as opposed to a scoring time. Kobe Bryant, too. I mean, let's face it, this guy wants to win. You know what? The Nuggets in their 11 wins.
And Iverson and one. Allen Iverson checking in with his first basket of the 4th period.
There's your 51.
And he has tied the building high. And that's going to be called, it looks like, against Bryant, which would be his 5th.
In the 4th quarter.
Now, George Karl has elected to go a lot with J.R. Smith here. Bryant for the lead, and the Lakers have the lead. Bryant goes careening into the front row and one. Kobe Bean Bryant took it 75 feet from the foul line in.
Just blows by Allen Iverson. Kenyon Martin too late on the help. Bangs Kobe Bryant on the back of the head, and the LA Lakers lead by 2. Poor defense here, Allen Iverson. You got to force him to the middle of the floor. He let him go base.
Hands it off to Kobe Bryant.
Oh, great help defense. Andrew Bynum, who had 7 blocks against Dwight Howard and the Magic 3 games ago.
Bryant to the basket and good. Game.
Big basket, great pass, Allen Iverson. The LA Lakers have made it very difficult on him here in the 4th quarter. Unable to get any clean looks. But the Nuggets need to stop right here.
They trap Bryant, but he rises up and knocks down another cold-blooded baseline jump shot.
Flashes of Michael Jordan right there. Looked like a little push-off like he did on Brian Russell back there in Utah. And Kobe Bryant, who's the assassin. It's Kobe time. As Carmelo Anthony gets a great look from Allen Iverson to get this to a 2-point game, but Kobe says, not so fast, Carmelo.
Kobe Bryant with 12 of the Lakers' 20 points in this period. Back with this.
And that's the bottom line.
George Karl has said we are in a funky stage right now. We are a good, bad team, and we're trying to remove the bad part of that label and just become a good team. And that'll do it. The Los Angeles Lakers end the 3-game losing streak here in the Pepsi Center against the Denver Nuggets. Despite the 51 points from Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant steals this game in the 4th quarter. And Lisa's standing by with Kobe.
Well, Kobe, it seemed it was tough for you to get into a rhythm on the bench for most of the 3rd quarter, but not so in the 4th quarter. What was going through your mind late in the game with the game on the line?
Just stay calm, just execute. I think there's a lot of calls that didn't go our way. And I think if I would have reacted in a particular manner, I think it would have affected the morale of our team. So instead, just staying calm, just going out there and execute.
Now, how much did that shoulder injury that you sustained in the 2nd quarter, how much did that affect your game tonight?
It's a little achy, but that that being said, it's not something that's going to, linger or cause any serious damage if I continue to play on it. So at that point, just got to suck it up.
Now, it was a great effort by the entire team, a balanced effort. What impressed you most about what your team was able to do to stay in the game with you on the bench for pretty much all that third quarter?
Well, I think the important thing is Denver wasn't able to build a cushion. And that's what I told the guys. I said, look, just don't let them build a cushion. Just stay within 1 or 2 points. We went in the fourth quarter tied. And once that happened, I said, the ball game is ours to get.
And lastly, Allen Iverson. What didn't you do tonight? But 49 points through the end of 3, just 2 points in the fourth quarter. What did you guys do differently to slow him down?
Well, I just try to pay a little bit more attention to him and just, sit on top of him a little bit. He was dancing around, and he's a hell of a player. So if you give him the opportunity to kind of dance around and float around, he can knock down some big shots. So just try to sit on top of him a little bit more.
All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Well, both teams now at 11-8 after this. Final thoughts, John.
Well, as I said in the open, if this LA Laker, this young team can keep it close, and you have the best player in the NBA, you got a chance to win.
Well, the final score, Los Angeles winning 111-107. For John Barry, Lisa Salters, and our entire gang, I'm Mark Jones saying so long from Denver. Allen Iverson had a lot of answers tonight, just not enough, as Kobe Bryant had the final say. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Stay tuned, folks, for SportsCenter. It's next.